The boxes were finally gone. After weeks of packing, hauling, and unpacking, our new house finally felt like a home. It was an old Victorian, the kind with creaky floors and a history that seemed to seep from the floral wallpaper. My parents loved its charm. I loved the attic. It was my own private kingdom, a dusty, sun-drenched space filled with forgotten treasures. One rainy Saturday, while my parents were out, I decided to do some exploring. The air up there was thick with the smell of old wood and mothballs. Sunlight streamed through a single circular window, illuminating dancing dust motes. In the farthest, darkest corner, tucked beneath a stack of yellowed newspapers, I found a small wooden trunk. It wasn't locked. My heart thumped with a mix of excitement and unease as I lifted the heavy lid. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded red velvet, was a doll. She was beautiful, in a haunting sort of way. Her face was made of porcelain, flawlessly smooth and pale, with rosy cheeks and ruby red lips painted into a slight, knowing smile. Her eyes were the most striking part to brilliant blue glass orbs that seemed to follow me as I moved. She wore a lace-trimmed blue dress, now gray with age, and her dark, curly hair was perfectly coiffed. I named her Lily. I don't know why. The name just floated into my mind as I looked at her. I took her down to my room, setting her on the rocking chair in the corner. That night, I couldn't sleep. The house groaned and settled around me, but there was another sound, a soft, rhythmic creak. It was the rocking chair. I squinted in the darkness, my heart pounding against my ribs. The chair was moving back and forth, back and forth. Lily sat perfectly still, her glass eyes gleaming in the moonlight, her painted smile seeming wider now, more sinister. I told myself it was just a draft. The old house was full of them. But the next morning, when I woke up, Lily wasn't in the rocking chair. I found her sitting on my dresser, right next to my jewelry box. I was sure I hadn't moved her. I tried to push the unease away, blaming my tired mind. I had a friend, Sarah, over that afternoon. I showed her Lily. Sarah shivered. "She's creepy, Mia," she said, refusing to touch the doll. Her eyes. "It feels like she's watching you." We were in my room, playing a board game on the floor. Suddenly, the closet door, which I knew was shut tight, swung open with a loud bang. We both screamed. There, in the middle of the floor, was Lily, lying face down. Neither of us had been near the closet. Sarah grabbed her things and left, telling me my house gave her the creeps. I couldn't blame her. That night, I put Lily back in the trunk and shoved it deep into my closet, under a pile of old blankets. I didn't want to see her anymore. The disturbances didn't stop. They got worse. I'd hear faint giggling echoing from empty rooms. My favorite possessions would go missing, only to turn up in strange places: my toothbrush in the refrigerator, my textbook under the living room sofa. One evening, I was doing homework at my desk. I heard a faint scratching sound coming from the closet. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It was slow and deliberate. I froze, every muscle in my body tensing. The scratching got louder, more frantic. It sounded like tiny fingernails clawing at the wood. I backed away from my desk, my eyes locked on the closet door. The doorknob began to jiggle violently. I ran. I flew down the stairs, screaming for my parents. They came running, their faces etched with concern. My dad went up to my room. He opened the closet, looked inside, and then turned to me, his expression a mixture of confusion and annoyance. "Mia, what's gotten into you? There's nothing in there." The trunk was exactly where I'd left it, buried under the blankets. The scratching had stopped. They thought I was making it up, that the stress of the move was getting to me. They suggested I talk to someone. I felt so alone, so terrified. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew it was the doll. A few days later, I was home alone again. The silence of the house was deafening. I was in the kitchen, trying to distract myself by baking cookies, when I heard it. A soft, sweet melody, like a music box, was drifting down from upstairs. It was coming from my room. My blood ran cold. I knew that tune. It was the little lullaby my grandmother used to sing to me. No one else knew it. Slowly, cautiously, I crept up the stairs. The music grew louder as I approached my bedroom door, which was slightly ajar. I peeked inside. The rocking chair was moving again, swaying gently. And sitting in it was Lily, but she wasn't silent this time. Her painted mouth was moving, and from it came the sweet, chilling melody of my grandmother's lullaby. Her head turned, her glass eyes locking directly onto mine. The music stopped abruptly. A tiny, whispery voice filled the silence. "Let's play, Mia." I slammed the door shut and bolted. I didn't stop running until I was blocks away from the house, my lungs burning. I stayed at the library until I saw my parents' car pull into the driveway. I couldn't tell them. They wouldn't believe me. I had to get rid of her myself. That night, armed with a flashlight and a heavy-duty trash bag, I waited until my parents were asleep. My hands trembled as I opened my closet and pulled out the trunk. I didn't dare look inside. I just sealed the trunk in the bag, tied it shut, and carried it outside to the large trash bin at the curb. The lid slammed shut with a satisfying thud. Relief washed over me like a cool wave. It was over. For the next 2 days, the house was peaceful. The strange noises were gone. I started to feel like myself again. I thought I was finally free. On the third night, I was woken by a tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from my bedroom window. I sat up in bed, my heart a frantic drum. The tapping continued, insistent. I told myself it was a tree branch. But there were no trees close enough to my window. With a shaking hand, I pulled back the curtain. My scream was swallowed by the night. Staring back at me, her face pressed against the glass, was Lily. Her porcelain face was cracked and smeared with dirt. One of her glass eyes was gone, leaving a dark, empty socket. But her painted smile was wider than ever. Her one good eye stared into mine, full of malice. She raised a tiny, grimy hand and tapped on the glass again. "You can't get rid of me, Mia," her whispered voice seemed to hiss through the window pane. "We're friends forever. I don't live in that house anymore." My parents eventually believed me when my dad found the doll sitting on our front porch the next morning, despite having watched the garbage truck take the bin away himself. We moved out a week later, leaving most of our things behind. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear it. A faint, sweet melody, like a distant music box. And I know, somewhere out there, Lily is still looking for her friend. She's still looking for me. Thanks for watching, and if you have a story like this, share it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling tales. Stay safe.